Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines. US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said Washington currently has enough money to fund the ongoing war against Iran, but is still asking Congress for additional funds to support future military needs. Speaking on NBC's Meet the Press, Bessent stressed that the request for supplemental funding is about ensuring the military remains well equipped going forward, not because the US is running out of money now. He also made it clear that the administration is not considering any tax increases to finance the war. Pope Leo on Sunday condemned the death and suffering caused by the ongoing war in the Middle East, calling it a scandal to the whole human family and urging an immediate ceasefire. The pontiff said he continues to follow developments with dismay as the US-Israeli war involving Iran enters its fourth week. He also expressed concern over other regions affected by violence, renewing calls for peace and humanitarian relief. Iran's representative to the UN Maritime Agency has said that the Strait of Hormuz remains open to all shipping except vessels linked to Iran's enemies, after US President Donald Trump threatened to target Iranian power plants if the waterway was fully open within 48 hours. Ali Musavi said Tehran was ready to cooperate with the International Maritime Organization to improve maritime safety and protect seafarers in the Gulf, adding that ships not linked to Iran's enemies could pass the strait by coordinating security and safety arrangements with Tehran. US President Donald Trump has threatened to obliterate Iran's power plants if Tehran does not fully reopen the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours. Trump said on social media that if Iran doesn't fully open, without threat, the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours, the US would hit and obliterate their various power plants, starting with the biggest one first. However, Iran's parliament speaker, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, has warned that any attacks on the country's power plants and critical infrastructure could trigger wider regional escalation. Ghalibaf said such strikes would render installations across the region legitimate targets, adding that Iran would deliver a strong and effective response. He cautioned that any assault on energy facilities could lead to irreversible destruction and push global oil prices to record highs. Furthermore, Masoud Pezeshkian said that reckless statements and threats against Iran would be met with a decisive response, warning that external pressure would only strengthen national unity. The Iranian leader criticized the United States for issuing threats, calling them a sign of frustration, and emphasized that such rhetoric would not weaken Iran. Pezeshkian also stated that the Strait of Hormuz would remain open to friendly nations, but could be closed to any country that launches an attack on Iran, underscoring the strategic importance of the route for global energy supplies. British Cabinet Minister Steve Reid has said that there was no assessment that backed claims Iran is planning to strike Europe with ballistic missiles, or that it even has the capacity to do so. British Housing Secretary Reid told the BBC that he wasn't aware of any assessment at all that they are even trying to target Europe, let alone that they could if they tried. In a separate interview with Sky News, Reid said that US President Trump spoke for himself when he threatened to obliterate Iran's power plants if Tehran did not fully reopen the Strait of Hormuz within 48 hours. Iran has intensified its attacks on Israel, striking key southern cities and expanding the conflict beyond the Middle East with long-range missile launches, raising global security and energy concerns. Iran launched fresh ballistic missile attacks targeting southern Israeli cities, including Dimona and Arad, causing widespread destruction and mass casualties. More than 100 people were injured in the strikes, including children, after at least 2 missiles evaded Israeli air defense systems. In Dimona alone, at least 39 people were wounded, including a teenager seriously injured by shrapnel. In Arad, around 88 people were injured, with several in critical condition. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia has activated its air defences after ballistic missiles were launched toward the capital. Saudi Arabia's Ministry of Defence confirmed that 3 ballistic missiles were fired toward the Riyadh region early on Sunday. Air defence systems successfully intercepted 1 missile, while the remaining 2 fell in uninhabited areas, preventing casualties or major damage. Alongside the missile threat, Saudi forces also intercepted multiple aerial attacks overnight. In response to what it called blatant Iranian attacks, Saudi Arabia declared the Iranian embassy's military attaché, assistant attaché, and 3 other staff members persona non grata, ordering them to leave the country within 24 hours. 7 people have been killed in a helicopter crash in Qatar's territorial waters. The Qatari and Turkish defence ministries said the helicopter had crashed after suffering a technical malfunction, which the Qatari ministry said was during routine duty. They said 4 of those killed were Qatari Armed Forces personnel, 1 was from the Qatar-Turkey Joint Forces, and 2 were technicians. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.